It was Friday night. The school was empty and dark. But three boys were standing behind Ridgefield High School, staring at the old fence that separated the parking lot from the woods. Their names were Marcus, Tyler, and Dion, and they had made a very stupid bet. The rule was simple. Walk into the woods, stay for 10 minutes, walk back out. That was it. Nobody talked about why the woods made people uncomfortable. They just did. Every student at Ridgefield knew about those trees. Teachers never explained why they told kids to stay out. The old janitor, Mr. Harlan, would go completely silent whenever someone mentioned the woods. He would just shake his head slowly and walk away. That always made students more curious, not less. Marcus climbed the fence first. His sneakers hit the dirt on the other side, and he immediately felt something change. He could not explain it. The air felt heavier, thicker, like the woods were already aware that he was there. "You feel that?" Dion whispered after he landed beside Marcus. Nobody answered. Saying yes felt like admitting something dangerous. Tyler jumped over last. He kept his eyes forward and said nothing. They walked in single file. Their phone flashlights were the only light. The branches above them were so thick that no moonlight came through at all. It felt like walking inside a tunnel made of wood and darkness. Then Tyler stopped walking. "Look up," he said quietly. Marcus and Dion looked up. A dead deer was hanging from the branch directly above them. Its legs were tied together with something dark and wet, something that was not rope. Its eyes were still open. The flashlight made them shine like two small white coins in the dark. Below the deer was a dead crow. Below the crow was a dead rabbit. They were not thrown there randomly. They were arranged, carefully, deliberately. Like someone had taken their time placing each one in exactly the right position. Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Who does this?" Tyler whispered. Nobody answered that either, because the real question was not who, the real question was why. And none of them were ready to think about that yet. They should have turned around and left. Every smart part of their brain was saying the same thing. Go back, climb the fence, go home, call it a night. But curiosity is a powerful thing. It is sometimes stronger than fear. And the three boys told themselves they just wanted to understand what they were looking at. Just a little further. Just enough to make sense of it. There were more dead animals deeper in the woods. A fox hanging from a pine branch. Two more crows arranged in a perfect line on the ground. And then a dog, a medium-sized brown dog, still wearing a faded red collar around its neck. Dion stopped walking completely when he saw the dog. "We need to leave," he said. His voice was flat and serious. "Right now, whatever this is, it is not normal." "It is probably just some weird hunter," Tyler said, but his voice was thin. He did not believe his own words, and everyone knew it. Marcus was standing a few steps ahead of the others. He was slowly moving his flashlight in a wide circle, looking at the trees around them when he heard it. A voice. "Marcus, please help me." He stopped breathing. It was a girl's voice, soft and weak, like she was hurt and very tired. "Marcus, I'm scared." He recognized the voice immediately. "That is Jade," he said. Tyler turned fast. "What?" "That is my girlfriend's voice. That is Jade." Marcus was already stepping toward the sound. "She is out here. She sounds hurt." Dion grabbed his shoulder hard. "Why would Jade be in these woods at night? She did not even know we came here." "She needs help." "Marcus, stop and think." The voice came again, closer now, though nothing in the trees had moved. "Marcus, please, do not leave me out here alone." It sounded exactly like Jade, the same soft tone she always used when she was upset, the same way she said his name. Marcus had heard that voice 1,000 times. It was perfect. That was the problem. It was too perfect. Like something had been listening to Jade speak for a very long time, learning every small detail, practicing over and over until it could copy the sound without making a single mistake. Marcus took out his phone and called Jade. It rang once, twice. She answered. "Hey," she said, her voice slow with sleep. "It is almost 10 o'clock. Why are you calling?" Marcus could barely speak. "Are you home right now?" "Yes, I have been sleeping for an hour. What is wrong? You sound really strange." From somewhere in the dark trees in front of him, the voice called out again. "Marcus, please, I need you." He stood completely still, His real girlfriend was breathing softly in his ear on the phone. And somewhere in the dark, something was using her voice like a costume. He hung up. "Run," he said. They ran hard. Branches hit their faces. Roots reached up from the ground and grabbed at their feet. Dion tripped over something in the dark and Tyler caught him without stopping. Both of them stumbled forward, keeping each other upright. Marcus stayed just behind them. He made the mistake of looking back over his shoulder. It was standing between two trees at the very edge of his flashlight beam. It was shaped like a person, but it was not a person. The height was wrong. It was far too tall. The arms hung down much lower than arms should hang. The neck was bent sideways at an angle that no human neck could hold. On top of its head was something large and dark, shaped like the skull of a big animal, with long points rising up like broken antlers. It was completely still. It was just standing there, watching them run, making no sound at all. And then very slowly, it tilted its head to one side, the way a curious dog tilts its head when it hears something new. Like Marcus running away was interesting to it, like it was studying him. Marcus turned back forward and pushed his legs as hard as they would go. They hit the fence and went over it fast and badly. Tyler tore the sleeve of his jacket. Dion landed hard and scraped his hand on the asphalt badly enough to draw blood. They both dropped to their knees on the school parking lot, and all three boys sat there gasping, staring back at the fence. The woods were completely quiet. Nothing came through. "What did you see back there?" Tyler asked, looking at Marcus. Marcus sat on the cold ground, his chest burning from running, and thought about how to describe what he had seen. He could not find the right words, not because it was hard to describe, but because describing it made it real. Something that was pretending to be human, Marcus finally said, and doing it badly on purpose. They went to Dion's house because it was closest. Nobody wanted to be alone. They sat in Dion's room with all the lights on and did not speak for a long time. Then Marcus's phone buzzed. A text message from Jade's number. "Why did you come into the woods tonight?" Marcus's hand went cold. He stared at the screen, then he called Jade again. She answered immediately, confused and sleepy. "Marcus, you just called me. What is going on?" "Did you just send me a text?" "What? No, I have been lying here half asleep. What is happening?" Marcus read her the message out loud. She went quiet. "I did not send that," she said. Her voice was no longer sleepy. "Marcus, I did not send that message." He hung up and showed the phone to Tyler and Dion. They read the message. Then Tyler's phone buzzed. "A text from an unknown number. You left before we could finish." Dion's phone buzzed 3 seconds later. Same unknown number. One word. Rude. All three boys stood up at the same time. Dion went to his window and looked down at the street below. The street was empty and orange under the streetlights. But across the road, at the edge of where the lights stopped and the dark began, something tall was standing very still. It was too far away to see clearly, but it was looking up at the window. Dion was certain of it. "It followed us," Dion said without turning around. His voice was completely flat. "It is outside right now." Tyler and Marcus came to the window. The tall shape was gone, but now the streetlight directly below the window was flickering, on, off, like something was standing just beneath it, blocking the signal. Marcus gripped his phone tightly and looked at the message from Jade's number again. "Why did you come into the woods tonight?" It had used her phone, or it had copied her number, or it had done something else entirely, something Marcus could not understand and did not want to think about for too long. What he understood was this. The thing in the woods had found them. It knew their names. It knew their faces. And it had come to the edge of the light to show them that the fence had not stopped anything at all. The next morning, Marcus went to the school early. He found Mr. Harlan in the hallway near the back door, mopping the floor alone. Marcus walked straight up to him and said, "I went into the woods last night." Mr. Harlan stopped mopping. He did not look surprised. He looked tired, like he had been waiting years for a student to say those words. He leaned the mop against the wall and looked at Marcus for a long moment. "Did it speak to you?" Mr. Harlan asked. Marcus nodded. "Whose voice did it use?" "My girlfriend's." Mr. Harlan exhaled slowly. That is how it works. It listens first. It watches people for a long time before it acts. It learns what you love, what you would run toward without thinking. Then it wears that thing like a mask and calls you in. What is it? Marcus asked. Mr. Harlan picked up his mop again. My grandfather called it a skinwalker. Others call it other names. It does not matter what you call it. What matters is what you do next. What do we do? You stop going back. Mr. Harlan looked at him directly, with serious eyes. That is the only rule. It cannot hold the shapes perfectly in full light, and it does not come far from the trees. But if you go back, if curiosity pulls you in one more time, it does not need to chase you. You walk to it yourself. Marcus stood there in the empty hallway. What if it contacts us again? He asked. The texts, the voices. Mr. Harlan was quiet for a moment. It wants you frightened, and it wants you curious. Fear and curiosity together, that is the door it uses. You close the door by doing nothing. No response, no looking, no going back. He began mopping again, as if the conversation was over. Marcus walked back down the hallway. He texted Tyler and Dion 2 words. Never again. Both of them replied immediately with the same answer. Never again. That night, Marcus sat in his room with the lights on and his window curtains closed. His phone had been silent all day. No strange texts, no unknown numbers, nothing. At 11 p.m., just as he was about to sleep, one final message came from the unknown number. We will wait. Marcus turned his phone face down and did not pick it up again until morning. Outside the window, the neighborhood was quiet and dark and perfectly still. And deep in the woods behind Ridgefield High School, something tall stood between the trees and waited with infinite patience. Because it had learned one important thing about humans over many long years.